And we're on. Welcome on. How are you doing there? Are we having technical difficulties? I don't know why this is all screwing up. How are you, Jeff?
Oh, you know.
I'm trying to get this thing to work, but it won't work for me now.
Really? What's the problem?
I don't know.
Can you just go live?
I know. I can't believe it. I can't believe I'm just live here.
You are live.
There it is.
Okay,
I'd much rather be here than talking to you guys, but it is what it is. I got to make a living. Okay. So my name's Ken Finnan, and my job is to get you past all the exams. And the number one question I get before I do my live, so I'm hoping to save some time and make it less chaotic, is what do I do? I'm taking the test tomorrow or 2 weeks or whatever it is. So let's, first of all, if you're taking it tomorrow, too late, you're fucked. Okay? No, I'm kidding around. Get some sleep. If you're taking it tomorrow, you should not be on my live. You should be getting sleep and you should be going over customer accounts. Literally any exam you take, literally any exam, you should probably read customer accounts. I have crash course videos you can watch, playlists you can watch. Go watch those and get some sleep. If you have a significant other, make sure they do the right thing or ask them to do the right thing. And you don't want to make them do anything, but you ask them. Just massage. That's all I'm talking about. Just keep it relaxed. No fighting, stuff like that. Now, if you're taking it beyond tomorrow, so if you're taking it tomorrow, what are you doing out here? Get off here, click and get out of here. If you're taking it beyond tomorrow, so let's say you're taking it in 2 days. Tomorrow is no testing. It's adding knowledge, reading customer accounts, going over videos, hopefully my crash course videos or others. Bottom line is you don't want to stress yourself out. You don't want to take a test. I'm not a fan of testing. Some people like it. I disagree with it because if you go bad, there's no upside. If it goes bad for you, you're screwed. So I say, don't take a test tomorrow. Take it easy. Around dinner time, you're done. I don't care if you're taking the test at 5 o'clock at night. At dinner time, you're done. Okay? Don't do anything. Again, the night before is always kind of go out to dinner. Don't go, pounding, going fireballs, but just literally go out to dinner, maybe talk to people who aren't involved in it, who don't care about the test, don't want to hear it. You want to do stuff that just relax you. If you have SDC or Notman, they have these little sheets that you can go through maybe the day before. Make sure you go over it like hot sheets or key topic stuff or crunch time facts. Again, I have crash course playlists, a whole playlist on almost every test you can take. Now, let's say you're taking it more than 2 days out. So what you want to do is within the up to, but not including the last, I don't even know if that's right. The last 8 to 10 days is testing, okay? Before that, you're reading and quizzing and testing, all that. A lot of focus on reading, mostly focus on reading, watching videos, adding knowledge. But in the last 8 days, not including the day before, so whatever that is, so 10 days before, you're going to take tests every day. One test, not two. If it's a 63 of the SIE, maybe you can take 2. But again, I don't think it works so well. Oh, I feel the heat on my back. I really just want to turn around and take a dive. The problem is when I go in there, there's a manatee warning. The boats have to go around me. I have to wear a flag saying manatee, don't hit me, stuff like that. Now, up to but not including the day before the test, you are to take one final a day. Now, remember something. When you do a final, review the whole thing, not just the wrong answers. And what you're going to do is you're going to kind of do a triage. There's really 3 or 4 choices. You look them over. If you got it right for the right reason, you're good. Move on. Make sure you read the answer why, okay? 2, if you got it right for the wrong reason, mark that down. You have to review it because if you got it right because you guessed, that's just as bad as a wrong. Almost more dangerous, right? Because you think you got it. 2, if you got it wrong because you misread it, which happens with the Kaplan, Past Perfect, SDC, even Achievable, all of them, you can misread it. If you get it wrong because you misread it, but you knew the concept, don't worry about it. The last one is you got it wrong because you didn't know your shit. That you have to review. So really, you're going to have 4 choices, mark them all. And then if you got it right for the right reason or wrong because you misread it, but you understand the concept, don't worry about it. The ones you have to review are the ones you got right for the right reason. And then the ones you got for the wrong reason, See, when I talk too fast, my brain is here, my mouth is here, and they're not in conjunction. And then ones you got right for the wrong reason, like guessing, and then you got to be honest with yourself. Don't be like, oh, I think I know it. Or the ones you got wrong for the right reason, I guess the right reason to be wrong, you don't know it. If you're starting to memorize questions, buy another QBank. STCS 4 supplemental exams. If you want, buy Kaplan. But again, you don't want to add a new QBank in the last few days. You want to do it out so you can literally get used to the question because you don't want to switch it up the day before. Again, you need to go in there like a badass. You need to go into the test like I'm going to fucking own this shit and you're going to run it, okay? You got to go in there confident. You got to understand that if you go in there confident, if you go into this test as a confident badass, not cocky, confident, I know my shit, then when you see a hard question, you're going to go, oh, I can do this, okay? And you can work through it or even mark for review, shit like that. If you go in there where you're not sure and you're like, oh, I'm afraid, then every hard question is going to look to you like, see, I knew I should have waited. And that's a bad thing because you won't try it. I've seen that so many times where if you give someone positive confirmation of good work, they're willing to work a little bit harder on the question. If you're like, oh, I'm not ready, they go, oh, I knew I wasn't ready. They give up. We don't want give up. We want you to attack it like you know your shit, okay? And that's literally it. You maybe want to watch some of my exam walkthrough videos, join my live, but not the night before. I don't want to see you the night before. I want to see you after you pass so we can play a song for you and blow it out your ass, okay? Good. Okay, everyone, go beat this thing. You got this. I believe in you. I 100% believe in you. And you need to say every morning, get up in the morning, brush your teeth with your offhand, even if you want to brush your teeth with your foot, and keep saying, I'm going to pass this. I'm going to pass this. Say it like 10 times with confidence. Not I need to pass it. Not I gotta pass it. I'm going to pass it. That's your goal. Go beat this thing. We got it, baby. Let's go, baby. Wait, thanks, Ken. Thank you a lot. You can go. Thank you. Okay, now, it's perfect timing because I had this guy who was talking about his son just now. I was like, you have 4 minutes to have your conversation. So it worked out. Okay. So welcome. Happy Thursday. This was a great week. I constant text people going, oh, I passed the test. I passed the exam. All that stuff. It was a great week. A lot of them ended up joining the class. A lot of people from my Sunday night class passed. A lot of people that Jeff was, a couple of, the one was a 7, but the one, this girl, Makia, that I helped, we met her a couple of times. She was in the Sunday night group, but Jeff gave her a great plan. She ended up passing. I think she was surprised. I think she was going in there. We gave her as much confidence as she could, but I think she was surprised when she passed because she felt like that's the problem with these exams. You feel like you're failing the whole time.
She was texting me.
Yeah.
Like we got her scores, you know, with work. I don't want anybody to think that this is a magic formula, but with the work, she got her scores up in like the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Right. 100%.
Going through it, it was, we went through a lot of things. We focused on a lot of areas, but she got through it and she was very, very happy.
Yep. I love it. So I was very happy with that. Now she's on to the next one. Okay. So hater. Okay. So here we go. So pass the SI 7 and 63. Of course it would be. Yes. Even if your firm won't sponsor you, it is. You're about to hear my dog go barking. Let's see. Because my wife just pulled in. Yes, 100% getting the 65 will help you. Even if it doesn't help you now, as long as you have your other licenses, if your firm can hold it, then it's even maybe in 5 years, it's worth it. 100%. If you got the 7, the 63, the 65, there's nothing you can't do.
The question is, for if you want to post in the chat, are you looking to branch out potentially one day to your own firm, your own RIA?
Right. Yep.
That's what.
Yeah.
That's the.
You know what's cool now? So used to be if you took the 66 and then you wanted to go on your own to be an IA, you had to retake the 65.
Right.
So now, after you've had it for a year, what everyone who's taking the 66 and you all pass, you're going to see this in a year. You're going to look on FinPro and you're going to see it says 63 credit, 65. There it is. 63 credit and a 65 credit. That's what you're going to see. So what's going to happen is you're going to see that, okay? And you're going to be, wait, I took the 66, but it doesn't matter. It is totally cool with that. You're fine because they break it up so that you can go on your own. Because California, some firms will be like, sure, we'll take it. Some firms, some states, but California was hard ass about this. If you had the 66, even if you had it for 10 years and you decided to open an IA, they'll go, nope, you got to take the 65 again. So now they're all moving toward, okay, we get it. And NASA figured out the way around. They go, okay, once you have the 66 for a year, at the beginning of the next year, 66 will fall off and it'll say 63 credit and 65 credit. So now you can go on your own and do it. So, Hader, the best part about you getting the 7 and the 63 ready is you literally have 6 chances to pass. You can take the 65. If you miss, you can take the 66 the next day or a week later. You can literally just rotate until you pass it. Nobody wants to do that. You're going to pass it the first time. I'm just saying it relaxes stuff a little bit. Okay. Okay. Now, let's get into some questions. More questions. Courtney, I think you're taking the test pretty soon, but let's go over this. If you are so remember this, if you are okay, broker-dealers don't do advisory fees, so let's throw that out. So we'll talk about IAs. If you're a state, remember that this is the way it goes. If you're a state IA, not state covered, state IA, you always have to give the brochure at or prior to signing the contract. That's the rule no matter what. The brochure rule is at or prior to signing the contract. That's the rule, okay? Now, if you're a state advisor, they would like you to have it 48 hours ahead of time before they sign the contract. If you do that, okay, can you hear me okay? If they do that, am I on the good microphone? Yes. You guys could hear me even though it was over there, huh? Okay, this better? Now, if you are a state advisor, then they would like you to give them the brochure 48 hours before they sign the contract, and then they're locked in. If you give it to them less than 48 hours, then they have 5 days to back out of it. So you can't penalize them. However, this is your question. You can charge them advisory fees. If you do work for them, you can charge them advisory fees for the work you did. You just can't penalize them. They get a free look, but if you did work for them, you get to charge for what you did. Okay? If you're a federal covered advisor, it doesn't matter. As long as you give it to them at or prior to them signing the contract, they're locked in. Now, remember, sometimes they'll try to trick you and say, oh, the advisor is giving them 48 hours after they sign the contract to rescind. That's fine. They don't have to do that. That's just an add-on there because they're nice, okay? So again, state advisors, they have the 48-hour rule. If they don't, it's a 5-day free look. Not free look. If it's a covered advisor, meaning FCA, federal covered advisor, they can give it at or prior to signing the contract, and you're in. Once you're in, you're in. Hope that helps a little. Okay. Now, now, federal covered advisors are exempt securities. That's the thing. Federal covered advisors are exempt. So what are some exempt securities? Anything issued by the government. Anything issued by the federal government. Our government or any other government. Yes, the whole thing, we have to have diplomatic relations, but they're not going to ask you whether we're good with Russia now or not. It's going to be any federal government is exempt. U.S. or wherever. Munis, any U.S. or Canadian munis are exempt. Those are exempt securities. If it's issued by a bank, if it's issued by an insurance company, if it's issued by a utility or a common carrier, which is like shipping, cross-state shipping, if it's commercial paper, if it's a Reg D, if it's an investment company like a mutual fund, if it's on an exchange, obviously, if it's sold to qualified investors, or if it's sold to if it is a nonprofit, charitable, or religious. Now that one isn't so much federal as the administrator can absolutely deny that. So let's hope no one here is a Scientologist, right? If you are, I apologize. I'm just using an example. If California all of a sudden decides, you know what, Scientology isn't a religion, and they try to issue a bond, they can go, nope, you're not an exempt security. You have to register. They could do that. So the nonprofit religious, charitable religious, the administrator can go, we don't really think that you are what you say you are. If you know, I know you know. So they could deny that. So, but federal covered securities are exempt securities. Now, the two that you have to remember, this is the one you have to remember. If you're going to register in a state, it's either qualification for one state, coordination for multiple states. You're coordinating between the SEC and the states. Okay, it's not between states. Or notice filing, which is just letting the state know you're there. Two federal covered securities, mutual funds and Reg D, have to notice file in the state. That doesn't mean they register. They just notice file. Hope that helps a little bit. Okay. Hope that helps a little bit. And by the way, they're not going to make you decide what's federal covered versus exempt. They're going to make you decide whether that's a register or not. Also, remember something. Also, if is going to go with this one. Oh, if you sell an exempt security, you still have to register. If you sell an exempt transaction, you still have to register unless you work for the issuer. If you work for the issuer of an exempt security or an exempt transaction and you don't get a commission, then you wouldn't have to register. Other than that, you do. So an exempt security is about the security being exempt, not you. Okay. We have to find a way to make this side by side. Okay. Because I never get to see your reactions. Okay. Okay. And he's the better looking guy on the thing, so I got to keep him up there. Okay, so now maybe I should block my face out. Okay. His hair, he's younger. Okay. Now, he actually works out. Okay. Now, my only workout is lifting these things. What do you suggest if I fail this? Okay. Okay, the green light's hard. I think it's harder than the exam. Review the green light and see how many you got wrong, okay? See how many that you got wrong because it's dumb answers. And since you're taking it Saturday morning, SATURDAY, right? Now, I don't know how many people know who that is. Okay, so now, it sounds like the A-idiolers. Okay, now, I would focus tomorrow on ethics, find my crash, find my 63 stuff, focus on ethics, focus on little couple customer accounts, but maybe go over my quick and easy, my quick and dirty, stuff like that. Those videos, that'll help you enough. But be confident, Jasmine. Just be very confident. You got to go in there like a badass. You got to take your time. You failed it last time. It doesn't matter. We're going to get it this time. Okay? You have no choice. If you're taking it Saturday, if you got a 69 in the green light, that's a hard test. I think that's significantly harder than the exam. You got to go in there like a badass and trust that you're going to take your time, not too much because it's a speed test, and just nail this thing. Okay. Okay. Stefan, I love Stefan. Boom, I love it. Noah, Stefan is the best. He's like a rock star over at Fidelity. Okay. I still remember, and he was one of my originals from when I had like 900 subscribers. He's been there. I love him. He's moving up. He's going to be like, they're going to change the name to Fidelity Jalev at some point. Okay. He is just a rock star moving up in there. It's awesome. Listen, go baby. Noah, be confident, be a badass. Make sure you don't do any tests the day before. Make sure you read customer accounts the night before. Watch my quick and dirty and go bang this shit out. Cesar, I am Cesar. How are you doing? I think I said something after, but let's see. Okay. So here's the thing. So if you're taking the 7, you have 2 choices, Alexis. You can do the membership, which is like between $24.99 and $49 and $99 a month, and you get classes on Sundays and stuff like that. I should be clear about this. The one-on-one is with me or one of my tutors. Okay, so I'm $200 an hour. You can hit up. If you want tutoring, just go to series7exam.org. I really don't try to push the tutoring on here, but since you're asking. That's the website where you can go on and grab something if you want. And those are going to be anything, whether it's me or my other tutors, it's always one-on-one. If you want a more budget conscious one, you can talk to Jeff and he can do a custom study plan with you. It's like $50. And you can book it on there and he can get you on the right path and maybe even find the right tutor for you. But if you don't want to do that, there's a membership thing through YouTube. You can do the $24.99. Where you get the Series 7 class and options videos. You can do $49.99, which adds an option video to options class to that right after it on Sunday nights, and the $99 one adds a Wednesday. Okay, and Jeff just put the link in there. Okay,
the memberships and also
the membership for the links, right? Perfect. Okay. Yeah. And Alexis, don't worry about this. Nobody gives a shit. Once you pass, nobody cares. Remember this. This is the big thing. It's a 30-day problem in a 20-year career. Okay, I know it'll be a longer career, but 30-day problem in a 40-year career just sounds stupid. Okay, so now, that actually sounds okay, doesn't it? But who wants to work 40 years? You want to be done by the time you're 50.
And Alexis, if you need help, just book time.
Yeah, just shoot him an email. Yeah, just book time and he can help you.
I'll help you through it.
Right. So don't sweat. Do not sweat this. This is the biggest thing I can tell you. Once you fail, it sucks. You tell everyone all that shit the same day. But once you pass, it's like it never happened. It's like having a key to get into a room. The key doesn't work until it does. And once you pass, it works. Okay. That's the way it goes. Okay. Where are we? Going to go back to this. Okay, so now I think we're going to be fine. Make sure you focus the first week or so on just reading. I promise you. Since you missed it last week, hopefully you took the weekend off. Now focus on the book. Just read the book and build it up. And then we can meet and go over that. Okay. Okay, Anders, don't pay $150. You don't need it. Now. Boom. Okay. Okay, so. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's great. So, by the way, you can get the 63 and. Oh, okay, yeah, paid study for the 63. Got it. Why? Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Well, Grant. So if they'll pay you, okay. If they'll pay you to take the 65, the 63 and 65, and then if they stop paying you after you pass, like say it's a work, eat what you kill, but they stop paying you after you pass. Yeah, wait to take the 7 and 63. It does. Here's the thing. You need to find out if the firm's going to sponsor you for the 65 eventually. If the firm is going to sponsor you for the 65 or the 66, then you take it. But if they're not, like they're just going to make you be a 763 person and they're not going to carry the 65, don't waste your time. You can study for the 7 and then wait till it starts, right? Okay. If it's hopefully it's January of next year, not like, next June.
Just
but if they're
what kind of role Grant, what kind of role are you going for?
Yeah. Figure that out first and then we'll have a conversation. Okay.
Yeah.
Anders, do not do the 150. That's for principals. Unless you're taking the 24, don't do that. If you're taking the 65, if you're taking the 7, do the 99 if you want, which is going to give you all the options. But if you're taking the 65, I can't remember what you were taking. I can't remember. Might have been the 7. If you're taking the 65 or 66, just do the 24.99 one. That's all you really need for this. Anything more than that is a waste. Okay. Okay. 1060 next Wednesday. I read the book from Altman twice and scoring mid-60s. Okay. Mid-60s and 70s. Okay. Carlo, I appreciate you saying my videos are good. I agree, but I'm kind of biased. I would maybe go back and maybe read the lowest section. I know it sounds stupid, but maybe go back and try to figure out. I think they have a performance tracker. Pretty sure they have a thing that tracks what you do. Notman does. I would go back and try to read the lowest sections and see what happens. If you're taking it next Wednesday, so that's a week from yesterday, maybe take a day. Maybe take a day, just read and go over stuff and then go back to test. The thing about the 63 is you have to take as many tests as possible. Maybe buy the Kaplan Q Bank. Week away, maybe you don't want to do that. But maybe go on STC and buy their supplemental exams. That might be an idea. They only have 4 of them. And maybe just to see where you are. Although I prefer you just focus on reading right now. Spend Friday or Saturday just reading the lowest sections. We're getting through the book one more time. And go, oh, you read it twice already? I know. But I think you got to, there's something missing. There's not a connection, right? That's the problem. Is that if you're not scoring over 70s, find out where your weakness is, reread that. Maybe it's reading the questions. Here's the thing. Notman's questions are a little more convoluted than the test is. So try to look to see if you're getting them wrong because you didn't know your shit or because you misread it. If you misread it, I worry less than if you didn't understand it. Okay.
The way to determine what's going on there is when you read the explanations, make sure the explanations make sense to you with the answers.
Good. Okay, so this one. IRR, you mean the thing is they're saying it wrong. Discounted cash flow can't be used on common stock because it's uneven. You don't know where it's going. It's a whole different animal. So what they use is dividend discount model or dividend growth model. So discounted cash flow is really for projects and bonds. Dividend discount model is mostly for preferreds. Dividend growth model would be for common stock, but not all common stock, right? So if it doesn't pay a dividend, you can't do a present value. Maybe you can do it on the stock, but then that doesn't relate where the stock is. Like, think about when Elon took over, Twitter, right? He paid $44 billion for it. After he got the financials, he did the discounted cash flow and realized he should have paid 36. I joke that's why he spent the whole summer suing them to get out of the deal because he realized he overpaid at a negative NPV. Now he made it worth more, so it's worth more now than it was, but he would have been better off paying $36 billion. So The whole point is that discounted cash flow is for projects. Dividend discount model or there's pretty much for preferreds or things with consistent dividends. And dividend growth model is for common stock, but usually because the dividends grow. But not everything. Like a stock that doesn't pay a dividend, like an Amazon. I don't know if they pay dividends yet. But like certain stocks that don't pay dividends, you wouldn't use any of this for. Okay, just got to roll the dice, baby. Okay. Cesar, yeah, please say something. Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah, you got to maybe start reading the answers first. So if you see a one-liner, just pick it. Two things at a time. Well, there's a few things, but the main ones are lack of confidence because you're like, oh, I don't know which one to do. And you sit there for 3 minutes fucking picking your nose. I don't know what to do, right? So focus on trying to be more decisive, okay? And you're scoring well, which is great, which means you can speed it up a little bit. You have a cushion. And the other thing is you read too much. You read it, and then you read the answers, and you go back and read it. Maybe if you see a really long question, read the 4 choices first to get an idea, then read the last line, and then read the question. That might speed it up a little bit. By reading the answers first, you know what to look for. That may help a lot. Try that. Okay. EV, that's outstanding. RV, that's outstanding. That 79 is a thing that I will not teach. Thank God I have a tutor for that, but I will not teach that. That is outstanding. Gotta love jumping for the 79 RV. That is. So now onto the 63. First things first, focus on reading the book. Hopefully you have STC. I mean, Notman's fine. It sounds like you're probably with Notman if you took the 79 first. Focus on reading the book once or twice and then just bang it out. The thing about the 63, this is the only test that I am like, just take a million questions. Take questions so your eyes bleed. That's when you're ready. And that's what you got to do. With the 63, you got to take questions until you can't anymore. Okay. Taylor, thank you for coming on. My Florida group. Okay. So you're going to pass tomorrow because you came on. Okay. Okay. So now let's talk about, okay. So advertising, just remember, on the IA side, anything to more than one person is considered advertising. If you send it to up to 10 people, you have to keep a record of who you send it to. If you keep it, and that's for 5 years. If you send it to more than 10 people, you just keep a record of what you do, of what you sent. Now, as far as testimonials goes, first of all, state advisors cannot do testimonials unless the state is following the SEC testimonial rule. I mean, and some states do that. Some states allow for the SEC rule, because the SEC rule, federal covered advisors, SEC registered advisors, absolutely can do testimonials. Now, they can do it, but they have to disclose shit, right? So they have to disclose like any conflicts of interest. They have to disclose who the person is, what their qualifications are. They have to disclose what period, I think, and whether they paid them. If they paid them more than $1,000, they have to disclose it. So those are all the things they have to disclose. I mean, there's more, but the idea is that federal covered advisors can do testimonials with disclosure, state can't. Now, that's why on LinkedIn and stuff, they say stuff like a like or a poke, or whatever you want to call it on Facebook or whatever. Those things could be considered testimonials. So they have to make sure that they have policies to handle that. Alexa, I love it. I told you to read that part of the time. I know that you got it, Alexa. I told you half an hour ago you got to read that. Why are you on here? I told you to get off here and more focus on reading. Bye. Go. I'm kidding. You can stay on. I'm just saying you'd be much better off working on reading. I have videos on taxation. I have videos on estates. I have videos on accounts. If I said I would take the whole hour to do that. So just a couple things. Just remember, read trust too. Anyone taking the 65 or 66, you have to make sure you read trust and estates the night before. You have to. Okay. Now, moving on with this. There's a trust is set up as a corp. It's set up like a little mini corporation. You can set up an irrevocable, which means so let's start with this one. First, we have 4 parts. I'm not going to go heavy into this. We have a grantor who sets it up, trustee who manages it, a beneficiary who benefits from it, and the corpus, the stuff you put in it. The grantor can set it up while they're alive, which is called inter vivos, and most of them are revocable, although I don't know why. And then if it's after they're dead, it's called testamentary because they're dead. Okay, so now you can set it up as revocable, which means you can take the money back and change it anytime you want. The grantor can. Or irrevocable, which means once it's in there, it stays. You can't touch it. And now, if it's revocable, it's taxed on the grant. The grantor is responsible for the taxes. Even when they die, it's part of their estate. If it's irrevocable, then it's the trust. The trust pays the estates. The trustee handles it, but the trustee pays the estates like a corporation. The trustee's job is to manage a portfolio for the benefit of the beneficiaries. If there's more than one beneficiary, they have to be very impartial. They can't just give it to the squeaky wheel, the one who needs all the money. They have to do it impartially. Okay. 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 I'm taking this. Okay. Okay, let's talk about it. So, yeah, it's not much more than straight grinding someday. But here's the deal. Okay. Let's start with sole prop is easiest to set up. Oh, I want to do one more thing. The reason you set up trust sometimes it helps with estate planning. Okay. Now, a sole prop is when you set it up as a single person. It's super free to do, but there's no protections. An LLC, you can have a single member or multiple. A sole prop has one person. You can't transfer it. So it's not good for transferring. LLC can have a single member or multiple. Okay? Single or multiple. It offers legal protection. It passes through the gains and the losses. And you get a K1. Partnerships, remember this. If they say the word partnership, they're talking about a general partnership, which means there's no limited, which means there's no protection. If they mean limited partnership, they will say limited partnership. A limited partnership has at least one limited partner and one general partner. A regular partnership has at least two general partners. Limited partner has they have limited liability. They're protected up to their investment. General partnerships have unlimited liability. Both LLCs and general partnerships and S corps, which I'm about to talk about, pass through the gains and losses and they get a K1. Understand what that means. Pass through means that if Jeff and I did an LLC and I made 10 grand and we were 50-50 partners, he would get 5 grand, I would get 5 grand. And if the write-offs were like 3 grand or whatever, he get a $1,500 write-off and I get a $1,500 write-off. That's the point, is that it passes through the gains and the losses. REITs and C corps do not pass through losses. They only pass through the gains if they want to. REITs have to pass through 90%. So now, LLC, 1 member or $1 million. Limited partnership or any kind of partnership, at least 2, but as many as they want. Partnerships do not have continuity of life. They end when the partnership dies. S corps, you can have a single member or up to 100. That's a key. S corps are up to 100 people. So S corp, think of small. C corp is big. Okay. What's a good word for C? I don't know. Colossal. Okay. Now, so S corp is small. C is colossal. I don't know if it works, but maybe it helps. So S corp passes through gains and losses. C corps don't. If you want to raise a shitload of money, C corp is the way to go. Anything with a corporation makes it easy to transfer. So if you're going to start your own firm and you want to make sure that you have the way to sell it when you get old, you want to do a corporation, either an LLC or S corps and C corps are better because you can just sell the shares. An LLC, you can do it, but there's some paperwork they have to sign. That's the big difference between all of them. Okay. So prop does not have continuity of life, means it goes forever. So C corp does, and S corp can. Partnerships don't really. LLC depends how it's set up, but for the most part, LLCs, sole props, and partnerships do end at some point. Okay. Okay. No. So the federal IA does not have a 48-hour rule. They can, by the way, they can give a 5-day free look. They don't have to. Okay. IAs, federal covered IAs, if they give the brochure at the time they sign the contract, they're good. If they want to give it 48 hours ahead of time, great, but there's no rule. State IAs have the 48-hour rule. Okay. Oh my God, motherfucker, Alexa, what's going on with the ISOs again? I just talked about it. Okay, Anthony, stay on there. Alexa has asked about this thing every live and every student. Hold on 1 second. Okay. I heard honking when the dogs are out, so I thought, okay. The 66 to okay. Oh, okay.
I was looking ahead.
Oh, Fidelity, yeah, they'll hold it. Ask them if they'll hold it. So, okay, that's great. Ask. I think they will. I don't know anyone at Fidelity that just does the 63. I think they're all. I'm not even sure they take the 63 and 65 separately. They'll only take it if you come in there. Man, if you look, if you think that there is if you think they're going to sponsor you for the 63 and 65 or whatever, take the 66. Get it out of the way. Okay. Okay. Hold on, Anthony, we're there. Okay. Alexa, I will do it one last time. ISOs. I mean, I did this, so I'm going to strangle you with this. Okay, so ISOs are for only employees. It's like these are incentive stock options. They are only for employees. I should do them for my employees. Oh, I don't have any. So now, exactly. Well, partners don't get this shit. Okay, so now, but anyway, so I'll vote. Hold on, let's have a vote. No, we're not having. Okay, so now, what? Oh, my wife wants to vote. Sure, you can vote. No, I don't need her voting because I don't need her taking your side, Jeff. Okay, so now she'll be like, yeah, sure, pay everyone. Okay, so now.
Does she usually take my side?
I don't know. Probably because I'm nuts. You're more common sense, so
yeah, I think
she probably would. Okay, so let me get back to this. So an ISO is an incentive stock option. That means that you're getting stock. You're getting the ability to buy stock at a price. So you get it, and they're usually for a certain amount of years, and eventually they exercise automatically. I don't know the number. You can look that up. Google is a thing. Now, if you get this and you exercise it, you're not taxed when you exercise it. NSOs are. Remember that. NSOs are for anyone who works for the firm, even if it's a consultant or a contractor. NSOs and ISOs are very similar. You get to buy stock at a discount, okay? If you exercise an ISO, it's not taxable. If you exercise an NSO, it is taxable at ordinary income, like your salary, which sucks. Now, if you exercise the ISO, I'm done with the NSO. I'm not going to talk about it. That's it. Now, if it's an ISO and you exercise it, you do not pay taxes until you sell the stock. If you at least wait a year after you've exercised or 2 years after it's been granted, it's a long-term capital gain. That's fucking it. If you can't get that, Alexis, don't worry about it. Kiss it up to God and let it go. Okay. But you're going to pass this thing. You'll be fine. Okay. Anthony. Boom. I love it. I love that stuff. That is awesome. So now, Anthony, are you done? Are you? Boom, baby. I love it. So, Anthony, let me know, Jeff, if he answers. Are you done with everything or no? Okay. Just watching, they're not going to ask you. They just want you to know the difference. I mean, spoofing is when you place a bunch of orders. Let's see if they do it different for us. I mean, my version of spoofing is placing a bunch of orders.
Spoofing, I think, is like depth of market trying to create that.
Yeah.
Like phishing is kind of like just.
So the problem is, they're trying to, you're changing a legitimate address. That's why I wanted to make sure. I think that phishing is the same thing. Here's the thing. Either way, this is the best one, because spoofing is when you take an email and you try to act like it happens all the time, where you'll get an email. This is the CEO. I'm looking to transfer money out of my account. Please send it here. That's spoofing. And then phishing, I guess they're trying to say phishing is like getting a sense of hurry up and send it. Blah blah blah. Either way, it's fucking wrong. You will not. They will not ask the difference in phishing and spoofing. Okay, they will ask you whether they're wrong or not. They might ask you the difference between churning, which is excessive trading, free riding, which is not paying for your shit, manipulation, which is trying to move the market, right? Because spoofing on FINRA is placing a bunch of orders to make it look like there's a buyer or seller there. Okay. I don't know that. Are you taking a criminal justice test? Okay. custody. So Alexa, I'm going to ask you, because you're taking it in 2 days. I want you to type into me what things are, what are considered, what would trigger the custody rule? And then I'll go, okay. Cesare, does that mean you passed? Because you're saying the same as Anthony. Did you pass the 65? Okay. Okay. Digital, remember, cryptocurrency is a digital asset. They're not going to go crazy on it. Digital currency is a digital asset. It may or may not be a security. You got to know that cryptocurrency is a digital asset. Blockchain is the method to verify transactions. NFTs are a scam. I mean, are also known as a digital currency, okay? A digital asset. Cryptocurrency is a type of digital asset. NFTs are a type of digital asset, but NFTs are a scam. Blockchain is the method to verify transactions. That's the difference, okay? Okay. Right, the SPAC thing, okay. A SPAC is basically, it's like a 2-year thing where you buy into it, and you know that you know what they're doing. You know what. Sometimes you may even know the industry they're going to do it, but they have 2 years to take over a company and bring them public. And if you don't do it, you get your money back. The problem is your money's not growing or very slowly, so you have opportunity risk. A blank check company is literally you give them money. Blank check company, a SPAC is sort of like a blank check because you're giving them money, hoping they do the right thing. But a blank check company is literally you give somebody money, say, "Hey, go make money, do something." Okay, these are all things you saw, maybe. Okay, personal balance sheet, right? Okay, ethics, baby. Yeah, what were the math questions? After tax yield, which is not bad. Okay, and current yield. Okay, that's the thing. Current yield is easy. That's annual over market price, AMP, baby, AMP, annual over market price. And after tax yield is you take the return, you multiply it times 100 minus the tax bracket, and divide by the initial, by the investment. Okay. Okay. The family balance sheet, you got to know the difference between assets and liabilities. That's really what you're looking for, assets and liabilities. Okay. So assets are like car, house, stuff like that. You want to know the liabilities. You want to know the income. The incomes, you can have an income statement for the family, because the reason you do the income, part of the income statement is to find out how much of a cushion they have over their, like how much money they're bringing in versus how much going out. So that can determine how much liquidity you need, how much shit you need, right? Because if they're spending like $8,000 a month in bills and they're bringing in $9,000, that's tight. Okay. That means they don't have a lot of discretionary money. So if something comes up where they need $5,000 to fix a heater or something like that, they may not have it. So if you know that they're tight on that, you have to make sure that there's a definite portion of their investments that are liquid. But hell, if their bills are $8,000 and they're bringing in $25,000 a month, then you don't have to. You can pretty much have more illiquid stuff. So their income statement or cash flow, a lot of it will be that's going to determine how much liquidity they need. Okay, let me see something. Okay. Right. So GDP is the measure of the economy's output. So GDP is all for U.S. companies that produce in the U.S. GNP includes companies that build stuff outside the U.S. So Apple contributes more to the GNP than the GDP. I mean, hopefully that'll change in the next couple of years. But a lot of these companies that are building stuff outside the country, they contribute to the GNP. Gross national product is stuff that's inside and outside the U.S. GDP is inside. So when I first was buying, I bought my first Suburban in 2000. And I remember my boss, racist prick he was, but his line was, he said, make sure you buy one from, because they had 2 plants, one in Detroit and one in Mexico. He was a jackass. He goes, make sure you buy the one in Detroit. But I'm saying this for a reason. So Chevrolet, okay, builds a Suburban. The stuff they built in Detroit contributes to the GDP and the GNP. The cars they built in Mexico only contribute to the GNP, not the GDP. Okay. 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 Here's the thing. So I think if you want to supplement, get the STC. RV, if you're doing the 63, get the STC. I love Achievable. I do love Achievable. So if you want to get that, that's fine too. If you're, put this way, read the book once or twice. If you don't think that you're if you think you're not understanding it, get the Achievable because they explain it better than anyone else. And guys, if you need a link, I can send you a discount link for the Achievable if you guys want it. Okay, I'll throw it in the chat if you guys want it. Now, if you're understanding this stuff, get STC because their questions are a little closer to the exam than the other vendors, and they're good. And just make the big thing about the 63 is when you're taking it, make sure that you're on track. I can't believe I'm half an hour behind. Make sure you're on track that you're taking it in an hour or less. Okay, I'm going to skip a little because Alexa's asking a question. Every other comment is a Alexa questions. I'm going to come back to that stuff. Okay, I know she's taking it, but she's worried she's not going to pass, and she's rocking this stuff. Okay. Grant, it's not a thing. I think the 65 is probably the easiest out of the three. Some people differentiate. Here's why some people think the 65 is harder. Because you walk into it without anything else. Like if you're taking the 7 first, the 65 is a joke. Okay, not a joke, but it's pretty easy. If you take the 65 first, you're learning, so it's hard. Okay, Alexa, I will come back to yourself, but I kind of want to catch up. Okay. Okay. Grant, I'm glad you like this stuff. Okay. Anthony, I'm so happy to help. I'm so happy you passed. Okay, now I really got to catch up because I do have a student at 9. So we have 14 minutes to make up half an hour worth of questions. Payable programs, okay. Look, if you want a full program, either STC or Achievable. For the 63, STC or Achievable both would be fine. With 65, I would almost say do Achievable by the Kaplan question bank. That's a great combo. Buying Achievable and then buying the Kaplan Q bank is really, really good. Okay. Okay, quick asset. I'll answer this one. Quick asset. So current ratio is current assets divided by current liability. These are all, by the way, working capital and quick asset are all about liquidity. Okay, so now quick asset ratio is current ratio minus inventory. So you take the inventory out of the current assets, then you divide. That's a very strict. There's another one called the cash asset ratio, which is even tighter, but don't worry about it. Quick asset ratio is the current ratio, but you subtract the inventory because you haven't sold the shit yet out of the current assets. Working capital is like another liquidity measure. It's current assets minus current liabilities. Okay. Oh, Linda, that's a power couple. I hope you're still here, Linda, but that's a power couple. That is insane. What? By the way, Linda, that is going to be a great night tonight. What are you doing on here? You guys should be, whatever. I'll leave it alone. Celebrating. That is an outstanding day. Okay. That is awesome. So you're done, and now you can help him with the 7. That's outstanding. Okay. Okay, so a state administrator. So here's the big one. So a state administrator and a court, the SEC can do everything. They're the fucking government. Okay. So the administrator is can do what they call subpoenas. Okay. The big thing is I'm going to go through the ones that matter because, like a court, an administrator can't fine you. They can't arrest you, but a court can issue a warrant and all that stuff. An administrator can do a subpoena without a court order. That's fine. Okay. They cannot do an injunction. An injunction is a legal term called an enjoining, which prevents you from doing business. Okay. A court. So say the administrator issues a cease and desist, and you go, "Fuck you! I don't care. I'm going to keep doing it anyway." There's not much the administrator can do. They can keep banning you, but it's like whatever. So they can then go to a court and get an injunction, and then the court will administer an injunction. And if you keep saying no, then your ass goes to jail. Okay, that's the difference. So a court can do subpoenas and injunctions and get you arrested. Administrator can pretty much issue a cease and desist. They can suspend, deny, revoke, investigate you. Criminal stuff they don't do, they leave that to the courts. Hope that helps a little bit. Okay. Got it. Yeah. So just buy the, if you're doing the 65 first, get the $24.99 one. But if you're going to do the option stuff, then you can, if you need help with the options, do the $50 one or the $99. The $99 one gets you 3 classes a week. The $49 one gets you 2 classes. Okay. Okay. God. Okay. So you're okay. You're doing this. Okay. Yeah, you're going to be doing that. At Fidelity, that's what you're going to be doing, unless they put one in. Okay. Okay. Yeah, right. You know, it's a good point. Okay. If you now it's January, so you got to wait. So maybe what you do is let's go through a couple questions first. Okay. Rania. Oh, Rania. Hold on a second. Okay. Now. Oh, hold on, Joe. Yeah, I do this live Q&A every Tuesday night for the 7 and stuff. You want to learn? That's fine. You have 3 formats. So I would get, here's the thing. Just don't worry about the challenging part. Just take the 66. Get the SIE out of the way. You might have said that already, Pastor. Get the 66 out of the way and then start studying for the 7 right around December. If you need help with like how to go and like better at thing, go reach out to Jeff. He can do a career plan with you. That's one of the things with the custom study plan. It's a career plan. He can help you. He can spitball. You can go over ideas, and you go over ideas for a career. It's not a bad idea. He'll probably put the link in here in a second. So that might not hurt doing like a little career planning website to get you going, and he'll help you like what you can do when you start the thing. And you got Stefan, where I think your Fidelity got Stefan doing that stuff. Okay, it's going to help you a lot. Oh yeah, that's not so bad. I'll catch up quick. Okay, I do like that when people ask questions and they fall behind, they kind of wait. Okay. Or they fall asleep and they go, fuck it, he's never going to get to my question. There should be a notification when I mention your name. It lets you know. Don't worry about the challenging stuff. Just get the 66 out of the way and then start studying for the 7 as soon as you can after. Okay. Okay. If you want to get multiple ones, get STC and Achievable. Get STC. Look, I think it's awesome too, Grant. We're going to get this. So, and basically, find my videos. If you haven't find my videos. I have playlists for every test. The 65 and 66 are basically the same thing. So it's one playlist. I don't waste my time, waste people with more than one playlist. It's kind of ridiculous because everything on the 65 pretty much is going to be on the 66, and anything on the 63 and 66 will be on the 65. That's another thing. What I get a lot is I can't post the same video up with different titles. It's kind of scammy. So anything, if you're taking the 65 or 66, anything that says 63 on it is absolutely for you too. Be a savage, baby. Now,
and Ken, you know that I like talking about this stuff with people, especially when they're starting their careers.
With the what?
You know, I like talking about this stuff with people when they're starting their careers, and
yeah, 100%.
That's why I posted that.
He does a lot of that. He does it. So literally, just reach out to him and join up and sign up, and it'll help a lot. I promise you, it'll be good to spitball with him, and he give you good ideas, and he has great insight. But yeah, just focus on the 66 first. Get that out of the way, then get the 7. To start for the 7. Okay. Ron, yeah. Okay. Yeah, you give the client just, so I'm sorry you missed, but yeah, I tell everyone, yeah, I do the whole customer account stuff. But again, I make sure everyone kind of blows off the mutual funds and annuities, and it's big on this test. So I'm saying that, let me answer your question. Mutual fund prospectus has to be delivered at or prior to confirmation of the sale, which is T+1. So by the way, by the time the confirmation has to get there, you need the prospectus. That's for everything. You think it'd have to be before the trade, but it's not. It's by the confirmation of the trade. Okay. Yeah. So listen. So Rania, don't worry about it. Just take a couple of days off, then go back to reading, baby. That's the goal. And then hopefully I'll see you Sunday night, and maybe take this weekend off. Just kind of relax a little bit, read, and maybe either Monday or just start reading again, and maybe switch vendors if you don't like what you're doing. Also, if you need help one-on-one, reach out to Jeff and help you on the right way. Okay. Okay, just watching. They're two totally different things. Okay. Everyone who comes into a state has to do consent to surface a process. Consent to surface a process is for anything in the state, registering or notice filing, because it's saying, hey, if you go, it allows the administrator to accept legal papers on your behalf. Now, notice filing is for usually for federal covered advisors or securities that don't have to register. Notice filing is saying, hey, we're in there. So like federal covered advisors, notice file if they have an office or more than 5 retail clients. They would notice file. They don't register. Now, securities, only mutual funds and Reg D have to notice file. They don't register. They're just notice filing. Again, notice filing is for people who don't normally, who are exempt from registering, and they do. Okay. 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 Hey, thank you very much. Yes, it's my birthday in 15 days. Okay. My cousin whose birthday party I'm going to on Saturday, he's 65. His birthday is actually today on 9/11. That's a tough day to have your birthday. Okay. 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 You wouldn't, if you do the 66, then you just have to take the 7. What I'm saying is that you're going to get a salary anyway. So if they're going to, look, here's the thing. If you want to just get the 65 out of the way, get it. Okay. The 60, I mean, but the 63 is like a 10-day study. I mean, think about it this way. If you walk in there with the 66 already done and you just take the 7, they pay to study the 7, you might get more time to study for the 7, and you look like a fucking rock star. So here's the thing. Don't do if you want to move up. Look, there's a lot of people who believe the whole quiet quitting. You just kind of do what you're supposed to do and get paid. But you're not going to get promotions. And Fidelity is big on promoting within. If you come in there with the 66 already and you go, I got the 66, you're a go-getter. You get the 7, they pay to study the 7, and then boom, you look like a rock star. Getting the 63, yeah, oh yeah, fun. You get paid for an extra week to 10 days of studying, but then you're just like everyone else. And then you're going to have, and then if you take the 65, that's fine. They make you do that. But if you get the 66, you're done. You can do whatever you want. You can talk to Jeff about it, but I'm telling you right now, if you take the 66 now and get that done, you don't have to think about it again. You don't have to worry about it. And then you don't have to worry about them in a year going, hey, by the way, you know they had the 63. We want to take the 65 now. Get the 66. Look like a badass when you come in. You want to come in as, what was his name? Laloof. I don't remember his name. The guy from Bull Durham. You want to announce your presence with authority. Come in there like a badass. Okay. 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 So, by the way, current yield is easy, baby. So here's why you get screwed up. On the vendors, they kind of screw you up. So current yield is always annual over market price. So if they say a 6% preferred, you have to find out, you have to look at the par value. Is it 50 or 25 or 100? If it's 50, you do 6% of 50, then divide. If it's 25, you do 6% of 25 and then divide. If it's a regular preferred, that $100 par, you do 6. It's really 6, but 6 divided by 100, then divide. It's always annual over market price. So if they say 6%, that's the annual. That's not 6% every quarter. That's 6% total. Again, not heavy on the math. 6 definitely doesn't have level math. Focus on mutual funds, annuities, and customer counts and suitability. You got to make sure you know that shit cold. Okay. I just did a video. One, munis don't fucking change, so it's not a big deal. So whether they're new or not, it doesn't matter. But if you go, I have a video I just did maybe a month ago. It might be in the shorts. I think it's picture geo versus revenue. I also have it on TikTok. Guys, if you're bored and you want to just do a different way of looking at stuff, I have a TikTok and an Instagram, both under Series 7 Whisper. I started like 5-6 years ago. Series 7 Whisper on TikTok and Instagram, and then obviously you're on YouTube. Okay. I definitely have videos on munis versus geos, revenues versus geos. I have a brand new bond video, which kind of explains the fundamentals, where I'm driving in a car. It's good. And then I have a geo versus revenue. It'll help. Those are new, but again, munis don't change that much. So even if you watch one from 3 years ago, what does the difference other than settlement? Okay. Matt, don't worry about, okay. Hold on. I don't know. Although I have a video. So when it's more, remember for the 65 and 66, it's much more about knowing what they are than when they are, than where they are. Hold on, I have a video on this. this right. Come on.
Sir Charlie Kirk was shot and killed
Oh
at
yeah,
Utah
sorry.
Valley University.
Sorry about that. Goes right to that. Series 65. There we go. And I'm not going to talk about it, but yesterday was a fucking surreal day. I can't fucking believe that. Okay, hold on. And then we got today. So okay. So Grant, okay, stay till the end, baby. We'll talk. Okay. So Matt, for the video I just plugged in there is probably your best bet for it's probably your best bet to figure out what formulas to know what they're for. It's a good video. Anyone taking the 65 or 66, that's probably the best video to watch. I just plugged it in there. Okay. Right. Right. So the 65 is more in depth in economics and investments. Yes, but it's Grant, you're over fucking thinking this. It's fine to do. I'm telling you right now, don't worry about this too much. Ask Stefan if they're going to sponsor for the 65 and the 63. If they will, just bang out the 66. And again, I know that you want to get paid for the 63, but it's literally a 5-day study. Okay. Hope you. I mean, what it is you probably didn't hear what I just said before. Okay. This is where Jeff can help you out and get John. We go one-on-one session. You get stuff to do that. Okay. Okay. Mariana, I hope you're still here. Oh yeah, I'm not that far behind. Okay. Boom, Grant. That's awesome. I love it. I'm glad our stuff. I love her. I'm glad our advice helped out a little bit. I love that. That's awesome.
I've been married a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
There we go, baby. That's outstanding. Boom. Mariana, I love that. You passed it 2 weeks ago, and you're coming on here. That's awesome. Hope you went out celebrating the night before. I definitely the night before, not the night before. Hope you went out celebrating the night after. I tend to go out the night before, but whatever. That's outstanding. Are you done now? Are you done? Is that it? Nothing else? Okay. They will tell you, okay? Yeah, I'm telling you, Matt, they will tell you if it's a bond, par is always 1,000. On a preferred, they will 100%. Bori, stay there. They will absolutely tell you what par value is. I promise you that, okay? I promise you. If it's a preferred, they will tell you what the par is. There's no way they won't. And as I said that, if they don't, then assume it's 100. But they're not going to not tell you unless it doesn't matter, right? So if they say, oh, you bought a preferred, and they don't give you the par, because it doesn't matter. If it does matter, they have to tell you. They can't hide the ball. That's the thing they're not gonna. Yeah, hardly any math on these exams. 100%. Okay. I love that. Thank you. Thank you for watching. You're my one watcher. That's all of it. I love when I know who watches my shit. That is awesome, Bori. I'm so happy for you. Boom, baby. Now, Alexa, hopefully you're not on here still. Okay. So hopefully you're asleep by now because you're taking it soon. I told her not to come on. Let's see if there's. Okay, yeah. So, right. So I'll give you this one. I'll do the 2 that you asked, okay, half an hour ago. And you're like, fuck you, Ken. Service of process does consent to service of process is allowing the administrator to accept legal papers on your behalf. It's a one-time thing. You don't have to keep doing it. Okay. Okay, here we go. Let's see this one. Okay. I guess so. So remember, I don't know. Remember, I don't know what the other ones are. But fiduciary means you're taking on a responsibility for other people. Okay. So if you're choosing any part of the management or any of that stuff, you're considered a fiduciary. I don't know where they're going with that. Sometimes the vendor sometimes asks some wild fucking questions. And if you don't know the answers, like I can't explain this enough. When I took the 66 last time where they gave a score, I got 1 wrong. I've never been midnight. I've never gotten a test on any vendor, STC. I mean, maybe STC because I memorized, but CAP and STC, Past Perfect, are achievable. I've never gotten anywhere close to that. But on the real exams, I get them because I know my shit. I don't know their fucking tricks. Remember that a lot of times the vendors go out of their way to be fucking assholes. So don't sweat that stuff too much. Okay. 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 Boom. Okay. You got this. So now you're studying so you're an advisor. I love that. So it's amazing. Sometimes it takes a while. So everyone goes, wait, when do I become an advisor? Just because you pass the exam, as Mariana just found out, you don't just get you're not automatically registered. The state has to allow you. A lot of times, if you open the window and then it's like a month or two after you open the window, you're pretty much approved, even though we don't like the word approved, but you're approved pending the test. So once you pass, like my daughter, she did the 66 like 15 years ago. She took it on a Monday. Tuesday, her name was in every state because that's what JP Morgan does. Because she took it, she studied for like a month, and they processed already. If you open the window and take the test like a week later, you might not be effective until they put you in there. Okay. Marianne, I want to get to you in a second. Okay. When you're ready, Casey, you got to go in there and read every word. I can't say this enough. RTFQ, baby. Some people say read the full question. I say read the fucking question, which means read the whole thing. Read every word. Don't look. As I say, everyone needs the D. Everyone loves a little D. And what I mean by that is you got to get all the way down to D. You must read all four choices. A lot of people, this is why people fail, because B looks good, but it's not perfect, and they don't get to D. It's a sad night when you don't get the D, right? So the point is, you got to get down to the D, all four answers. That's why people go, I thought I was passing, and then they fail. Going confident, here's the thing, you're taking it tomorrow, get the fuck off my life, okay? Now, oh, good. My boy, who was very worried about failing, passed it. I love it. Now, Alexa, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm out of here. And this is what I tell everyone. Stirpes per capita is so fucking confusing to everyone that it's basically just let it fucking go. That should be the question that you fucking guess on. Because there's per stirpes, there's per capita per my descendants, per capita per my children. There's so many different ways, and the test asks it so different ways. Don't fucking worry about it. If it's easy and straightforward, if they go per stirpes is by the branch, even the dead person, if one of the kids dies, even the branch gets it. Per capita, it's based on the people that are alive. Okay. I am done. Okay. Yeah. So you didn't have many, except I know they're much more straightforward. Now, hold on.
Read the two Mariana ones.
I'm definitely the Mariana. I am so sorry that happened. I've been there. I was 12 when mine dad died. Okay. That is amazing that you can take over the business and carry on his legacy, right? That is amazing that you got that done. Yeah. I am so proud of you. I'm sure he's looking down and being so very happy with you. He's probably so proud that you're following in his footsteps and taking over what he's going to do, and you're going to do it for the next 30 years and pass it on to your kids. Create a fucking legacy. That's awesome. Okay. It means don't ever worry about comments. I yell at Alexa because we get along, and she knows she can handle it. Okay. Now, yeah, it is amazing. I love that. I love when I see that stuff passed on to their kids. And that's amazing. It's because it puts a whole new light into it. When it's something like that, it puts a whole new meaning to it. And I'm so happy. I'm so proud of you. And let's bang out that 6. Make sure you get the mutual fund stuff. Okay. Yeah. In 48 hours, Alexa's going to be an IAR. Okay. Howard gives tax. Okay. Now, last one, because I do have to go. Okay. You guys can talk to each other, but I'm not going to ask any. But Ronya, thank you for the that feedback. That there's only a minute. It's so much more about theory. Now back to this. So this is what you have to know. If I buy stock and it grows in value, and then I give it to you as a gift, you are paying taxes on the cost basis of when I bought it, and at either long-term or short-term, depending on how long I've owned it. Okay. Now, oh, Ronya, yeah, never change answers. We're going to fix that. We're going to fix that over the next month. If I buy stock at 20 and it goes to 30 and I get hit by one of the buses and I die, okay, and I die, then they step up the cost basis. So again, Matt, I buy stock at 20, it's now trading at 32 and I die. I fall off a bridge, okay? Now, wildly specific to fall off a bridge. Now, and it's trading at 32 and you inherit it, you're going to get it at 32. And then when you sell it, it's a long-term capital gain no matter what. Okay. So Alexa, you're going to reach out to Courtney tomorrow after she passes it and get some feedback on it. Okay. Well, Mariana, thank you. God bless you. Okay. Let's get on this. I have a student that's supposed to start 10 minutes ago with, but I love you guys so much. It's only money to me, right? I'm giving up money. Everyone, Ronya, are you going to come on the Sunday night thing? If you do, Alexa, Ronya, she means any like big surprises. That's what she means. But we're not going to have time to answer that shit because I got to go. Okay. I'll give it like 30 seconds to see if she answers. So I'll just sing. Okay. I'll just fill it with like, okay. So let's see what she says. So everyone is taking it. Be calm. Read every word. That's the biggest thing. So taking it tomorrow, read every single word. Don't skim. Don't assume. That's the other thing. Don't bring your own shit into the question. Read your own. Read it as it's coming. Answer the question they're asking you, not what you think they're asking you. See, there you go. Thank you, Ronya. So you got to just go, whatever they ask you, answer that question. Don't put your own shit into it. Like if they say, oh, what's an investment advisor? And it says elephants have trunks. While that's a true statement, it doesn't answer the question. Okay. Everyone, I think we're out of here. Have a great weekend. And I will see you guys next week. Everyone taking it. You're going to nail it. I know we're going to a lot of good stuff. Okay. Oh, yeah, exactly. So when Teddy barks, they all bark. That's the thing. The live doesn't block out the dogs. My Zooms do. Okay. Everyone, let's get going. Let's fucking go. And let's pass this shit. And I'll see you guys next week. Hopefully I'll see some of you Sunday in the Zoom membership because you all should join. It's $25 a month, which is $8 a class. It's going to help you.